In today's video, we're gonna do a full day of keto eating on a training day. Let's get it. Good morning, family. I'm gonna take you through today a day of eating. Each and every meal I eat on a training day. This is week 6 in the strength and conditioning program that I'm currently doing from Brian Allsrud, neverstate.com. Awesome program. You know, reach out to him if you're looking to get stronger or really get a program that's gonna push you to your limits and teach you. First meal of the day, pre-workout. I work out in the mornings, so I have this little shake here. I'll show you everything I put in here. Got all my ingredients. First off, the base, 1 serving of baby spinach. It's 85 grams, and that just gives me my vegetables in there. Almond milk, 1 cup. I use, on workout days, or training days, whatever you want to call it, 2 scoops of protein. This is a low carb, 0 carb actually. Well, 2 grams, but I use 1 scoop of MCT oil powder. Chocolate, that's great in your coffee. If you've never had the powder before, which I have, and this is actually my first container of powder. I usually use the liquids. That's awesome. You don't need to put any sort of sweeteners in your coffee or anything like that. 1 scoop of creatine monohydrate, actually half a scoop I should say. I use 1 scoop of Evogreens, Evogreens, just for health. And I use half a scoop of Chia seeds and half a serving of flaxseed. Now it seems like a lot goes in here. Then I dump in a bunch of ice, mix that thing up, throw it in the fridge. It's ready in the morning and it's awesome. It tastes good. It's quick. It's easy. Easy. That's what we like to preach on this channel. Just make life easier, and you can follow these plans so much easier, so much quicker, and get to where you want to be. So that's meal 1. I'm gonna go hit a deadlift day, and I'll get you back on meal 2. We had a good deadlift day today. Getting back from the gym, took a shower, that hunger starting to build up. So we're gonna cook meal number 2, which is going to be 6 whole eggs. Egg whites. 1 cup of egg whites. 1 cup of egg whites. I do 4 slices of bacon when I cook this up. I get the microwave ready one because just make life easier. The macros are the same on it. Throw in a little bit of spinach. I like to put spinach in every meal. I actually cut up these peppers, so I'm gonna throw some of that in there, and then our 85-15 grass-fed beef that we've cooked up in advance, and we have our meal prep done, so we can just throw it in there. I also have some Kerrygold natural butter, and that's that. So let's get this thing started. Now we'll just throw in some of this butter. I don't really measure it out anymore. You know, the scale's moving the way I want it to move. Workouts are, you know, the gym's feeling the way I want it to feel. So right now everything's going good. So we don't need to really measure it out that much and be that precise. We're pretty precise on a lot of other things. The butter and stuff, we don't really need to be. So this bacon is awesome. Just comes out in strips, already made. You just gotta heat it up in the microwave if you don't mind microwaving a little thing here and there. It's great. It's so much less of a mess, you know? Bacon, you get bacon grease all over the place. The whole house smells like bacon. Cleanup's a pain in the butt. So this way, nice and easy. It's 10 seconds per slice. Doing 4 slices, so that's 40 seconds. Put this back in the fridge. Butter's melted in the pan. We'll move that around real nice. Now this meal here, I'll put the macros on the screen for you guys, also down in the description, macros per meal. This one I like to break this up into actually 2 meals. So, butter's going good. Put half of these peppers in here. Now I measure this out when I actually cut them up. So that's about proper serving for the macros that I need. We'll put that in there. We'll throw some spinach in there. If you've never cooked down spinach, you have no idea what to expect, but you can load this thing up with a shit ton of spinach, and by the time it's cooked down, it'll look like you barely put anything in there. So I'm just using the rest of that. Throw that to the side. We'll put the butter away. I'm all about trying to make life, make meal prep, make dieting and just meal planning simpler, easier. If it's simple and it's easy, you can follow it day in and day out. And with that said, we have our bacon here. Peppers and spinach are cooking. I know some people like to put a lid on here and just to keep that heat in there, but I find that if you throw this in there first, it all cooks down pretty well, and you don't have to waste, when you put the lid on, you gotta keep it on low. It takes like 10 minutes. Again, simple, easy. Throw it in there, let it cook down a little bit. And then one of the big tips with this meal, always throw your whole eggs in first. If you throw the egg whites in first, they end up sticking to the bottom of the pan no matter what pan you use. So, I normally let that cook a little bit more, but I'm okay with that. And we just crack our eggs. Some people like runny eggs, some people like, scrambled eggs. You just cook them the way you want them to be cooked. You want to throw some pepper and salt in here, go for it. I usually just salt my meals as I'm eating them. So again, 6 whole eggs. And I'll let this cook up, just for 30 seconds when I'm done with the eggs before I throw my egg whites in. Egg whites are what's going to get stuck to the sides of the pan. Egg whites are also what burns easily, however you want to say it. So I'll scramble that up, mix this all together. Our beef, throw that in there so that gets heated up nice. Take it 20 minutes. I've showed you guys the video of me cooking this beef, or I have it on this channel if you're interested in it. And it literally takes 20 minutes to cook up 4 days worth of beef and vegetables. And now I have that here. Throw that in the meal. Boom, we're good to go. Instead of, I gotta, when you're hungry and you're sitting there going, oh man, I gotta cook beef, then I gotta cook my eggs, then I gotta do this, then I gotta do that. And then you start thinking, that's when you start thinking to yourself, you start talking yourself out of, well, you know what, I can go here and get eggs, I can go here and get bacon, and I can go here and do this and do that. And then, for me, a lot of eating is just mental. I like to cut up this bacon, 4 slices again. take my kitchen shears, cut it up, just throw it all together. You know, make a nice scramble in there. It's delicious, gives it a good flavor. Get all my fats in there. So that looks good to me. Like I said, I like to split this up into 2 meals. So where my beef came out of, that Tupperware, I'll just throw in, I'll throw half of this in there. And don't bother measuring it out or anything like that, because you're gonna get, doesn't matter if you measure it or not, you're gonna get the same amount of calories, same amount of fat, same amount of macros, protein, all that. Whether you measure it out or not, you're gonna get the same amount in the day, right? So don't go crazy with trying to be exact and trying to do, oh, well, you know, I gotta get a certain number of protein per meal and a certain number of fat per meal. Whether you believe it or not, there has been research that indicates, you know, you can make just as good of progress eating, you know, well, not one, I wouldn't suggest one, but eating before and after a workout and maybe another meal, eating 3 meals a day. You don't have to do the old bodybuilder lifestyle of 6, 7 meals a day. They got to be spaced out. That's somewhat true on a carbohydrate-based diet because you're getting those insulin spikes. So maybe for energy level and all that type of thing, it's easier for you to eat, you know, smaller, frequent meals. But it all depends on you as well. And here, we'll take some cheddar cheese. I like to sprinkle it in there while it's hot. This way it'll melt on there, real nice and easy. Same here. Again, right now my goal is not to lean out or anything like that. So measuring these things, it's not really necessary. The high fat content things like coconut oil, MCT oil, well, butter, things like that you probably should measure out, especially if you're not used to the quantities that you use, just because those calories can get away from you. But with that said, this is meal number 2, half of that egg scramble. I'm gonna go enjoy this. I'm starving right now, and I'll see you back here for meal number 3. So here we are, been editing for a little bit, and it's time for meal number 3. I have 6 ounces of my beef and half a serving of broccoli. I use these Steam Fresh bags. Again, I like to make everything easy. The macros are the same, whether it's fresh or that, and busy days, I don't like to make excuses. So if I could have fresh, I would, but it's a good, better, best type of situation, right? Also, I have some avocado in there too. I buy these Cabo Fresh 100 calorie packs. Avocado is one of those things that can get away from you calorie wise. So, and also I just keep them, you know, I think 1 serving of avocado is like half of one. So to keep the other half, it goes brown. It's just, I just don't like it. So I use these little packs. I know I'm getting 100 calories in there. I know I'm getting my 8 grams of fat, 6 grams of carbs. This is actually my biggest carb meal of the day, but that's 4 grams of fiber as well. So, and then we throw some pink Himalayan salt on there. I also use iodized salt. I switch back and forth from those two just for the iodine content. So that's meal number 3. We get back to editing, trying to learn this Photoshop here, and I'll see you at meal number 4. So real quick, I'm gonna be going to the gym again. I have a competition coming up in about a month. an endurance type competition. So at night I get in some skiing, some rowing, sled pushes, depending on what my morning routine was. So I got to get some time on the rower. A little pre-workout coffee here, a little keto coffee, and some macadamia nuts. Now before I went on talking about how you don't really need to measure this, you don't need to measure that, this is something you have to measure. Macadamia nuts, great snack, great fats, everything, very highly caloric dense, right? So for this little bit here, tiny bit, 28 grams, that's 200 calories in there. That's not even a handful. You know, you go taking a handful or two out of here, you're talking about an extra 300, 500 calories, just boom. Now, it's great fats, it's great macros, but you're gonna go, it's still calories in, calories out, right? My coffee here, real simple, real easy. I do 1 scoop of chocolate MCT oil powder, and this is another one. You have to be very, very careful. This is something you have to measure. If you're gonna use heavy whipping cream, it's very calorically dense for a very small, minute liquid. 50 calories for 1 tablespoon. Now, I only wanted 2 tablespoons in here. I had it on my scale. As I poured, it already went up to 45. So I have 3 servings in here now. So even I make that mistake. You gotta pour very slowly as it's on your food scale, or you just do a tablespoon at a time. And you'll notice that it's not much at all. And yet it's an extra, now I've added an extra 50 calories to my day. That wasn't, scheduled for. So these 2 can really get away from you. So be careful with that. I'm gonna head off to the gym, and I'll see you back here for meal 4. So here we are, last meal of the day. The leftover egg scramble that we made earlier. We got the eggs, we got the beef, all the vegetables I cooked with the beef, the peppers, and topped off with some cheddar cheese. And that'll wrap up a workout day of eating. I think I'll put the macros down below in the description box. I think today it's 2650, 2720, something around there. And that's with a very intense deadlift session this morning, and then a pretty decent rowing session tonight. So like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.